What if the smallest thing you could hold could grow into something bigger than you ever imagined? A tiny seed, so small you could almost miss it. But Jesus said this tiny seed holds one of the biggest secrets about God's kingdom. Stay close, because this story might change the way you see small beginnings forever. Welcome to Primview Channel, where Bible stories come alive. One day, people gathered from everywhere to hear Jesus speak. Farmers, children, travelers, teachers, everyone wanted to hear his stories. Jesus looked at the crowd and smiled. Then he bent down and picked something tiny from the ground. "Child, what is that?" "Jesus, a mustard seed." "Tor." Everyone leaned closer. Because the seed was so tiny they could barely see it. Jesus held the tiny seed in his hand. "Jesus, the kingdom of God is like this mustard seed. It is the smallest seed you plant in the ground." Farmer in crowd. "That's true. Mustard seeds are tiny." But Jesus continued. "Jesus, yet when it grows, it becomes the largest plant in the garden." Before we see what happens next, hit like and subscribe to Primview Channel so you never miss these amazing Bible adventures. Imagine planting that tiny seed in the soil. Rain begins to fall. The sun shines warmly. Slowly, something amazing begins to happen. The tiny seed starts to grow. Roots stretch deep underground. A small green sprout appears. Then the plant grows taller and taller and taller. Soon, the tiny seed becomes a huge mustard tree. Birds fly down from the sky. They build nests in the branches. They rest in its shade. The little seed became something big enough to give life and shelter. The crowd was amazed. If you believe small things can become big miracles, tap like and share this video with a friend so they can watch too. Later, the disciples asked Jesus a question. "Disciple, why did you compare God's kingdom to a tiny seed?" Jesus smiled. Jesus, because the greatest things often start small. At that moment, many people didn't realize something incredible. Jesus himself had started something small. Just a few followers, a few teachings, a few miracles. But one day, that small beginning would reach the whole world. Sometimes we think small things don't matter. A small act of kindness, a small prayer, a small step of faith. But God sees something bigger. Just like the mustard seed, your faith can grow into something powerful. If you want your faith to grow like the mustard seed, type faith in the comments and subscribe to Primview Channel so we can grow together. Matthew 17:20 says, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible for you." Let's say it together. Faith as small as a mustard seed. Mark 4:32 says, "It grows and becomes the largest of all garden plants." Or, what did Jesus compare the kingdom of God to? A mustard seed. Why was the mustard seed special? It starts very small but grows very big. What lived in the branches of the mustard tree? Birds built nests there. What does the mustard seed teach us about faith? Even small faith can grow into something powerful. Can small actions make a big difference? Yes, God can grow small beginnings into big blessings. You might feel small sometimes. Maybe your voice feels small. Maybe your faith feels small. But remember, God can grow small seeds into mighty trees. And your story is just beginning. But one day, Jesus told another strange story. A woman took a tiny bit of yeast and mixed it into flour. Suddenly, the dough began to rise and rise and rise. What does yeast have to do with God's kingdom? And why did Jesus compare it to something hidden inside bread? Find out in the next episode, The Parable of the Yeast. Only on Primview Channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so more people around the world can discover the power of small seeds of faith.